Hello. Today we're going to talk about Mace, Mace 360, and footwork as it applies to the Mace 360. I've seen a lot of things online, different people talking about how to do Mace 360s and what to do with your feet or where to place your feet as you're doing them. And I think there's some inconsistencies out there. And I think that the holistic, the bigger picture of doing Mace is bigger than specifically where to put your foot this time. So we're going to talk about that. My name is Chris Butterworth. This is the Healthy Butter Fitness channel. And this is a place where we talk about being in your 50s and 60s and fighting off the effects of father time every day, every step of the way. As you get into your 50s, your body doesn't work the way that it used to. And there are things we can do to combat that, to hold father time at bay at least a little bit longer. I'm 56 now, and I feel great. When I was 50, I had chronic lower back issues, I had shoulder issues, I had elbow issues. Functional fitness fixed that for me. Kettlebells, clubs, and Mace. And I'm trying to share with you everything that I learned into an easier to digest portion. So hopefully there's something of value here. And today we're going to talk about, as I said, Mace 360, and the footwork that goes with it. Format is different here. I'm going vertical format, and I'm going it a little bit zoomed out. I don't love doing that, but I do want you to be able to see my feet. So there's a specific reason for it. I have a small space to work with. Today I'm going to use a 10-pound on-it mace for our example. Show you here, 10-pound on it. And that's just because we're going to do a few different things with it. But let's first talk about the 4 different foot placements that I've seen as I look online. And maybe there's more. Maybe I'm missing something. I have seen somebody online talk about keeping your feet together. And the thought is here is it's a balance issue. Is if you can do your 360s without moving your feet, then you've got it pretty well dialed in. You're not trying to use extra part of your bodies. You're actually doing what the 360 is meant to do. You're getting all of the rotation, all of the core, all of the shoulder, without trying to use your hips or your legs or your feet or anything else into that. It also gives you some balance. If for some reason you get way out of whack, it's hard to keep your balance when your feet are together. So if you can do them with your feet together, you know you've got some technique that's decent. The second thing I've seen is feet apart. Keep your feet shoulder width apart and go. Simple, easy, same kind of concept. You're not using your legs very much. You're not using your feet. You're not using your hips so much. This is mostly an upper body and core work. If you're using a light mace, it's not that much work at all. But that's a different discussion for a different day. The third thing that I see online is where people start to actually use their feet. You're gonna move your weight from side to side as the mace comes around. So as you start out, I'm gonna put my weight on my right foot and my heel is gonna come up a little bit on my left. And then as I finish, I'm gonna step into my left foot and my heel comes up on my right. So it's a little bit of a pivot. And I'll do that from the side, maybe 3/4 angle here so you can see it a little bit better. But it steps up one side, steps up the other as it comes through. And the fourth thing I see online, this is by guys that are really, really good at mace, guys that can do flow work with mace, but sometimes you'll see a pivot as they come around, or they're actually moving from side to side as they're doing it. So that is probably beyond the scope of beginner, definitely beyond the scope of beginner. But it does show a fourth movement pattern there. Now, how does this relate to functional fitness? One of the core tenets of functional fitness is how it relates to the real world, right? It's functional. Bench press is awesome because it's going to get you big and strong. It's going to build your chest, your tris. But there is nothing else in the real world where you're pushing a perfectly balanced set of weight, exactly vertical, exactly 12 inches or 18 inches up, right? It is a non-translation exercise. In the real world, everything you do is awkward, and you're picking something up from down here and putting it up there, and you're holding something at two different weights in two different hands. And the real world is lopsided and unpredictable, unbalanced. And so functional fitness talks about stuff in the real world. So let's talk about the real world. Mace 360 and Club Shield Cast is a similar movement. It's a throwing pattern, right? You're coming around and you're throwing. And if we go back in time to the beginning of humans, you were probably throwing a rock or a stick, or you were picking up a stick and you were hitting somebody with a stick or something with a stick, right? It is an absolute throw. So if we go back that far and we talk about what a 360 does, it's rotation. You're turning your body one way and you're rotating as you throw. Same thing we do today with a football. You turn your body and you throw. Baseball, throw. Javelin, throw. Tennis serve. I have tennis racket up here, but a tennis serve, you're basically throwing or hitting something with a throw. In all of these cases, you are not keeping your feet perfectly together. You're definitely rotating your body, just like a 360, but you're not stable. You are, hike, step back, back foot, rotate, step, throw. And you're moving from back foot to front foot. Baseball pitcher, oh my gosh. Turn your back all the way toward you, step, and as you follow through, they're coming all the way around the other way. It's basically a 360-degree rotation with their body, and they're stepping. Weight is back, weight is forward. So I think that stepping pattern is realistic. There are a number of people online that talk about not bringing your heels up, that your feet should be flat. Personally, I think that pivot, that step, as the weight transitions from one side to the next, is more realistic with what we as humans do. Not such a big deal on this 10-pound mace, but as your mace gets heavier, here's a 15.5-pound mace, it starts to feel more normal. Don't let me hit that. But as you're doing 360 for volume, it just becomes a pattern. Your body turns, your shoulder turns out, and your weight is over here on the right. And then you step in, you step through it, you rotate, you finish your rotation, and your weight is over here on the left. Right, left, right, left. The heavier your mace gets, the more your body can help out. Here's a 20-pound mace. And it's not huge. We're not taking giant steps. We're not jumping. I'm not a baseball pitcher. I'm not a professional tennis player jumping into the air as I hit. But I'm definitely moving my weight from one side to the other. And it's perfectly natural and athletic. When we think about, we can't go back in time 20,000 years or 200,000 years and see what original humans did. But we can imagine that athletics provides the baseline for what human bodies should be able to do. So between hand-to-hand combat, which is what ancient humans did, if your tribe is getting attacked by another tribe, if your little clan of extended family is being attacked from the family down the way, and you pick up whatever club you have, you're not holding your feet steady and trying to rotate like that. You're pivoting everywhere. You're hitting anything that you can hit. Whatever's coming at you. I imagine it's a crazy melee. But as far as sports go, I think sports are today's best view into bodies at their peak, right? The most athletic that we can be is what our bodies were designed to do. And when you look at sports, there's a lot of that movement. So I don't think it's bad to have movement in your Mace 360. Now, let's pause for a minute and let's talk about beginner compared to advanced. When you are starting out, I'm going to go back to this 10-pound mace. When you are starting out, there are a lot of things going on with your 360. Holding it, are my elbows flaring out or are my elbows tight? Am I up here? Am I down here too far? Like, where does the mace actually go? Whoa, it's all over the place. I'm wobbling around. Just getting it to a ready position, an order position, can take some effort. Now I'm going to do a 360. Am I throwing it way up in the air and letting it fall? Am I going sideways? You know, so your arm movement can be totally different just getting started out, trying to feel where that mace is going to go. Am I really letting gravity swing it behind and then I'm pulling it over? Or am I kind of trying to muscle it all the way through? Am I placing the globe a little bit in front of me over here, exactly to the side of me, or a little bit behind? I've seen people do it all three different ways. A little bit in front, all the way to the side, or a little bit behind me. And they're different motions around your back, and the mace ends up in a different place as you're pulling it over. Which one is right? Are you doing it consistently? So when you're starting out, there are enough things to think about on the mace that adding footwork is just another variable that you probably don't need. So I think starting out, keeping your feet shoulder width apart and just, I'll back up a little bit, shoulder width apart and keeping your feet flat, that's a great place to start because you're going to build consistency. You're going to see that you're putting the mace in the same place every time. What's comfortable for you? Where do your arms go? Are you getting all the way behind your, to the bottom of your neck? Are you touching your shirt collar as you come around behind you? Over and over and over again. And then anything you do with the right hand, you want to be able to do with the left hand. Everything should be exactly the same, going both directions. So you want to be able to do everything you do to the right, you want to do to the left, same number of times. Now, as that starts to get really comfortable, maybe the next thing to do is feet together. Maybe that one video is right, your balance is going to be better, and if you can do it feet together without falling over, you've probably got a consistent swing. But as your swing gets more consistent, you're doing more and more reps and you're doing heavier and heavier weights, even if it's only a pound or two heavier. As you get better and better at doing mace, you're going to do more of them. And as you do more of them, you start to get a little bit more natural with the motion and you start to get to that point where it just feels a little bit more athletic to pull your heel comes up off the ground. And I don't think that's a bad thing. Now, I do want to be cognizant of what is going on with your body. Heel coming off the ground on a little pivot is a big difference than your feet are all pointed in cockeyed directions and you're doing weird things with your knees and your ankles collapsing. And as we do this functional fitness stuff, everything that you add to your program, it's important to pay attention to what you're doing and why you're doing it. And so my thought is with Mace, if it's becoming a little bit more athletic, and it's almost like a dance, you're just going right side, right side, and you're doing these 360s and it's just coming around and around. I don't think that's bad. I think it's balanced. I think it's graceful. I think it's athletic. And I don't feel any undue pressure anywhere. If you're always doing one thing and you end up feeling weird and you're getting a calf cramp and you're getting, if anything weird is going on, take a look at what you're doing. Film yourself, do it in front of a mirror and see what you might be doing odd. Why is it only happening on one side and not the other? What's causing it? But overall, I think that it's okay to have that progression. Start simple, keep the variables low, And then as you get better and better with your mace, it's okay to be athletic. That's why we're training, right? In our 50s and 60s, we want to continue to be athletic so that in our 70s and 80s, we can move really well. I think that's the end goal. So I hope this makes sense as you're doing your Mace 360s and you see different videos online and people are doing different things with their feet. Some people say you have to do it this way, you're supposed to do it this way. Maybe not. Maybe you can progress over time. Just think about it, right? It's your functional fitness program and you want to do what makes you feel good and you want to do what makes your workouts productive and you want to do what's helping you keep father time at bay. And so for me, that little pivot, that little move my weight shift from one to the other, especially as I get deeper into a volume program or especially as I'm using heavier weights, I love it. I feel great with it. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully you take something out of this and hopefully you're able to crank out a whole bunch of Mace 360s and feel good about it. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Go get better.